Chris Rooney. I'm the Director of Business Services for AESA. AESA is proud to introduce our business partner, Anne-Marie Iascone from eTherapy. Anne-Marie is going to be discussing how agencies and districts can stay or get back into federal compliance with related services for our special needs students. Please keep in mind how important this is because as of today, the federal government has not waived any compliance requirements for IEPs. eTherapy is a viable solution for all of our members and the districts that we serve. We'll be recording this so you may share it within your agency or with your districts. It'll also be archived on the AESA website, and we'll have the live chat available for any questions. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Anne-Marie from eTherapy.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone's time today. I want this to be super informal. We're a very informal company. We're a bunch of educators, past educators. I was actually a high school English teacher way back when. Most of us here are either therapists or administrators, past educators. So want this to be super informal, want to be able to give you some information, answer questions. We really do want to help. So you can either chat your questions or you can just unmute yourself and ask a question as we're going along. I am going to share my screen. We'll go through a quick little, fast little PowerPoint. But I do want to be able for you guys to, hear what's going on in your districts, what your needs are. What we're hearing on our side is that everyone is kind of getting to a point now where they're either hybrid or blended, or maybe they're back at school and, they're kind of in a panic mode because for the time being, they were so concerned with getting kids up and running and internet connections and computers that they really haven't addressed their special education compliance needs. So, for example, we just contracted with the school last week. They brought over their goals from last year and nothing has been addressed since since January 1st, basically, or February 1st, excuse me, since this all happened. So, they're looking for services for us to help them. And also we can get into what we offer as far as licensing our platform as well. But I'm going to share my screen and I will just give me 1 second. Let's see what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to put the presentation up. Hopefully it's right here. Nope. Here we go. And I'm just going to put this in presenter mode. All right. Can everybody see my screen? Somebody?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I want to again thank you AESA for letting us present today. Let us present to you. I appreciate your being here. I know that everyone, I'm sure, and me included, are getting Zoom fatigue for sure. It's been really crazy. I can't even imagine what it's like to be in your shoes. Although I've taught and been in a school, in districts, and I never in my lifetime, and I'm old, that I think that we would be in this type of position. So just want to go over a quick agenda. We're just going to do a quick introduction. I'm going to introduce you a little bit to eTherapy. I want to explain to you kind of who we are, where we came from, and talk really about compensatory services and, how we can help, even if it's to just answer questions or be a service to you or provide resources for you. I'll go into how we provide direct services. We've been doing that since 2009. I'll go over our eSmart platform and then definitely allow time for questions and answers at the end. And we probably won't take the full hour. So I'm from the Northeast. We were just talking about this. I'm living in Austin right now, which is nice, but I tend to be a fast talker. So a lot of times I have to slow my voice down and I'll catch myself. So if I'm talking too fast, just chat me and say, Anne-Marie, slow down. Okay. So my name is Anne-Marie Iascone, and I am actually the Director of Business Development and Sales. But our two founders, Diana Parafinick and Harris Larney. Diana is actually a speech pathologist, and she started the company in 2009. She lives in Flagstaff, Arizona, and she was working with kiddos on an Indian reservation and spending about 850 miles a week and seeing maybe 5 to 10 kids. There's so many kids that needed her services. She's like, there's got to be an easier way to do this. So she got with a couple of SLP friends, and they kind of came up with this solution. And they were using, this was before even Skype was available. So they were using a conferencing program that was brand new. It was called uvu, and it was actually pretty good. I remember uvu back when, back many, many years ago. But I think the company is not in business anymore, which is too bad. So she did start this company. She did produce a therapist platform, basically, to track clinical data and give a 360 view for the therapists or administrators to be able to kind of track goals, clinical goals, and have scheduling tool in there, have Zoom protected so there's no video bombing and things like that. And we'll get into that in just a few minutes. Harris Larney is our CEO. He's also a co-founder. And actually, Diana and Harris are brother and sister. I didn't know, Chris, if you guys knew that. So eTherapy's track record, just real quick, we serve thousands of students and counting across the country. We work in every state. We work with hundreds of schools. And the important piece here is that we've conducted hundreds of thousands of teletherapy sessions, all recorded, tracked, and documented on our platform. We do have over 11 years of service. There was only one other company before us, and that is called TinyEye. They started about 6 months before we started. They're still in business today. Our services include speech therapy, social work, counseling, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We're seeing a very big, and this is no news to anyone, but a huge increase in mental health services. We just actually applied to a bid for a district that has 14,000 kids, and they want mental health services for 7,000 of those kids. So where years ago, we kind of figured maybe 10 to 15% of a district might be special education. With the new mental health needs, we're really more on that half of the school, if not all of the school is receiving some kind of mental health benefits. So we do all the digitized assessments, diagnostics, behavior modification, and psych ed. How we can help your district, whether it's with direct therapy, we can utilize and you can license our STAR platform. We have a 360 view for both the therapist and the administrators, as well as a student login specific to that student with unique credentials. Their Zoom rooms are individual. So for every therapist, you get an individual therapy room for that student. So there's never any chance of students waiting in waiting rooms or popping on or video bombing or any of that. We feel like it's very, very important to do that. And it is protected behind our website, which is encrypted, secure. Our CEO is actually a startup technology person. So he's very stringent on the fact that we have everything up and secure and everything has to be encrypted and all that computer fun stuff that I don't get into because I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that it's very secure and that we have lots of requirements. We do have support for your staff. For every customer or every school district or every agency, we assign a dedicated account manager, and that kind of differentiates us from a lot of other companies too, and that person is actually a therapist. So they not only provide backup for our therapy, so if we had a therapist working in Florida and they were working with ABC school and they, for some reason, got sick or they had a family emergency, that account manager is that backup person as well as that support person. If your therapist has questions or your parents have questions or there's connectivity issue, that person is there dedicated to you, but is employed by eTherapy. So that's kind of a nice kind of fallback. We always have a support system in place. That account manager also has extra supports. So there's, if she isn't available and the therapist isn't available, there's a third person available. We find it's more important to have too many people than not enough people, that's for sure. And we also provide training and support for staff. We're finding that a lot of you might feel this as well, is that you're having burnout. You're on Zoom rooms, you're trying to put together lesson plans, you're trying to get your kids engaged. We do have all types of training for staff as well as for the kiddos. So that is also something that we offer. Okay, let's go to the next. So just our competitive advantage, we certainly there's a lot of companies out there, and you know what, there's so many students that even if every company had, every company was utilized, we'd still not have enough coverage. So Just some things that kind of we can differentiate ourselves is we're very easy to work with. We have great communication because of those account managers and because we are all educators and understand and come from an education background. We do have dedicated staff, again, account managers. We do have a proven track record. Believe it or not, I was very shocked when I came onto the company. I've never worked for a company that had 100% retention. We've never been fired from a client, and that's pretty remarkable in today's day and age. So I always like to say that because I feel like I'm really, really proud to work for a company that that has that statistic. So high quality services. We have customized solutions, online access to all data and analysis. We're very transparent too. As far as pricing, we have a very simple, straightforward contract. The pricing is the pricing. There's no hidden costs. We're very upfront about that. We don't want to have to kind of, have to have that conversation after the fact. We're very upfront about that. And again, cost is the cost. We try to make it as affordable for everybody because we know what it's like to be in the school setting and have budgets. Easy to use technology, and again, very strong security. Compensatory services. This is kind of a scary thing. As Chris had mentioned before, there is no waiver on any of these services. We've had, I think, 2 or 3 law, what's the word I'm looking for? Cases where lawyers have been, have brought districts to court already. It's scary to think about some of these districts that haven't provided any services. And how it is going forward. It's a scary time. Some of these districts and some of your districts may not even have internet connectivity, like never mind trying to get, your IEPs done and your progress reports done. So really compensatory services are for any student that, follow these kind of rough guidelines. Did the student regress during these school closures? Unfortunately, a lot of students have special needs or non-special needs, but the special needs is the ones that are, need to remain compliant. Has the student failed to progress towards their annual goals? Does the student need additional supports to get them re-engaged? We think about all these things as we move forward and we try to stay compliant. So a lot of these questions are coming up in conversations that we have with schools. Besides the mental health, those are probably the top 2 conversations that we've been having since this all started. More so since the holiday break, I would say, because I think halfway through the school year, we're at a point where we're like, okay, now we've got the internet up, we got kids that have Chromebooks or computers. We really need to address these issues now. So we're really finding, especially with a lot of the grants that are out there, and the support, some support anyway, not enough, but support that's out there, that this is now the time to look at these makeup sessions and these compensatory services. So we offer that in 2 different ways. We do provide direct services. Our experiential therapists, we have specific licensing requirements that they have to have. They're certified, and they have to have at least a few years of direct teletherapy experience. We actually only hire about 11% of our applicants, which I think is pretty extraordinary too. All of our teletherapists go through a really pretty extensive onboarding process, including FBI background checks. So even though they are working virtually with your student, we feel like it's very necessary to go back, as if they were face to face. And so they do go through that FBI background check, which, believe it or not, only takes a few days, but at least we know that particular person is definitely, Corey, fingerprinted, all of that part of the FBI check. We also license out our platform. So before COVID happened, when everything was what we probably didn't think is normal, but as we look back, we say that it was much more normal than it is today. We had this great platform that was only used by our therapists. And when all of this happened, we kind of sat down and brainstormed, how can we help schools? How can we help agencies? How can we help districts? How can we help students? So we decided to license out our platform to our schools. So we train your therapists and staff to use all of the following eSmart features, which is, availability scheduling. And availability scheduling is really opening up your therapist, your in-house therapist schedules. You block time. So, I'm A therapist. I'm a speech pathologist. I work Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and I work from 8 to 12. That goes into a schedule so that when the student logs in, the parent logs in to make that appointment, they're able to go in, look at your schedule, and do that. They also get reminders, so you're not constantly having to remind students or parents. You don't have to get involved in that at all. The system does that for you, the platform. You also, as a therapist, if you have 40 kids on your caseload, you get 40 Zoom rooms. So each child is going to log in on our website or on your website. We can also put a link on there. They're not using per se a link. We're not emailing links. They log in behind the website. They use their own unique credentials, which is usually their first and last initial and date of birth. So only they can log into their room. So again, those are private, they're secure, and they're encrypted. We also have a schedule event capability on our system. We all the session documentation there, all the clinical data is tracked in there, all the student information. And I would say student information is almost like, in the old days, we had a file cabinet of file folders, and all that information, all those IEP. I know my son was on an IEP in high school, and his folder is so thick, and everything was on paper. This is all computerized, so it's all a digitized file. So it has everything pertaining to that student, and whether it be draft IEPs and progress notes and progress reports. Everything is kind of a digitized type file. Everything can be printed out into a hard copy. So for somebody like me who likes to print out hard copies because I'm old school, you're able to do that. We also within the system have training and resources, which is really important for a lot of schools. The training piece specifically, because you know what? I was never trained to be a virtual teacher. I would need training, just like everybody else. So we have two amazing therapists that work as they work as trainers, and they know all of the ins and outs. Diana's been doing it for 13 years, and Megan has been doing it for 14 years. They know all the tricks. They know how to set specific little files. They knew how to do the Bitmoji classrooms. They knew how to make it really fun. I've been through their training, and I learned so much from them. And they're really a valuable resource. And they won't let the therapist go and be free on the platform until they're 100% comfortable. We also have self-directed trainings and learning, and we have professional development. But more importantly, we have all sorts of resources that you as a therapist can use with your kiddos. Depending upon what kind of capabilities they have, you can do interactive games. There's all sorts of downloadable things that you can do, and they show within the training, we show you how to do mirroring techniques with your cell phone, and given manipulation of the mouse to the student so they can have an interactive activity or game, how to do whiteboards, how to create a whiteboard, which is really cool. So there's all sorts of activities from the 13 or 14 years of them doing teletherapy. We've kind of poured all those resources into our platform. There's also a student portal, very easy to log in. They press a big giant button that says start session. Super easy. And we also give the parents a video on how to do that and how to maneuver within the system, although it's very, very simple. And we also, again, just the teletherapy and Zoom training. Okay. So I can go into a lot of these, kind of what the system looks like, what the platform looks like, but I'm going to show you. I think sometimes it's better to show you a video on what we look like. Let's see if I can find that video. This is the student one. Okay. I'll just kind of show you this kind of what we do as far as for student and simple access.
Therapy, we make it easy for students to access their online sessions with our simple and secure solution. We know that families and school staff face frustration with juggling multiple links and sets of instructions for logging on to sessions. So at eTherapy, we make the process simple. Students just go to our site, input their initials and date of birth, and they are taken to their confidential student profile page. From here, all they need to do is click one button to meet their therapist online. With our platform, the student never has to go to an outside video conferencing system. everything is housed in one private and secure place. There are no links or URLs to remember. It's just one click to join the HIPAA-compliant online session. From the student profile page, the family or log-on facilitator can also view the student's upcoming schedule, past sessions, and progress made. Again, this is a private student portal, so it's only viewable by the student's parent or school staff member, helping the student to log on for their sessions. We provide easy how-to videos for parents to let them know what they can expect from their online sessions and how to best help their students participate effectively. With eTherapy, the experience is simple, secure, and user-friendly.
Great. I wanted to show that just to kind of give you more of a example of how, I want to do that, what it looks like from a student point of view. I know lots of times parents are very, they're very hestant, as we are. It's new, it's very new to them. The technology is new. And I just want to make sure that you have a comfort level and that parents have a comfort level of kind of what it is all about and how easy it is to get into. I did also want to show you very quickly what an actual session looks like. And this is a really quick video as well.
Today, we're going to do some handwriting. Do you have your scissors too for some cutting? We're going to cut right along the line. So this will work on your scissors skills.
This is going to be a little bit tough.
Yeah, it is a little tough. So you'll start at the end without the balloon. Okay, and you've got your scissors and you cut right along the lines. You're doing really well. So which one did you think was the hardest?
The hardest was the zigzag, definitely.
Hardest was the zigzag. Yeah, you're right. That's really cool though.
This would be physical therapy.
So you can do it here, or you can do it up here, but not on the knee, okay? Like this. Okay, let's roll your benches and then let's blow. The wind comes through and blows the leaves away. Well done. Look at that balance, Todd.
And now we have speech therapy.
Can I hear you make a ch sound? When you make the ch sound, our tongue has to do kind of a silly little move where it comes up on the sides of our teeth. Did you know that?
Speech.
Good. Your turn, Delphine. Good girl. I saw your lips. Did you feel it on your tongue? Did your tongue go up to the sides of your teeth? Yeah. Good job.
Great. I'm a very visual person, and I always feel like I like to see it actually in person, especially
A question we get a lot is, how do we do assessments
Oh.
and evaluations?
I don't know. Let me shut that off. I'm sorry. I don't know why that
What
just
kind of
did that.
diagnostics do we have? We need to stay compliant. What do we have that's available to us in order to do that, to remain compliant?
I don't know why that's still on there.
And most of you take,
Okay. So let's go back to the presentation, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. Let's just go to presentation mode. Okay. So I am going to skip past a few of these, and I want to get to the end part here. Okay. So how could we help your school with an eSmart solution? At the conclusion of the therapist training, staff will have all the tools available to access and to be able to document for all attempted and completed sessions. So fully implementing the eSmart solution can also help assist your school to document attempts to include FAPE for students. Administrators also have the ability to look real quickly. They have a 360 viewpoint of all of their therapists and all of their students. So they 100%, everything is in real time. So even from home, they're able to record and look at that data. Therapists will participate, again, in onboarding for eSmart and teletherapy. Caseloads will be imported. So the training, we train you regardless of whether you have direct services or you would license the platform. So whatever services that you're interested in, we we train you on the platform. We train you, we onboard you, we onboard the school or agency. We do an introductory to our therapist so that you meet the therapist virtually. And then continued support. Again, you have your account manager. We're available by email, by phone, text to both you and all of your staff, whether you're a therapist, an administrator, a parent. We also have twice weekly Q&A sessions offered. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you can hop on there and ask a therapist any questions that you might have. And we also send out weekly newsletters that have all sorts of valuable resources, new games that we've maybe found or created. We do have a product manager who actually, her voice is on most of our videos. She is actually has created several different kind of interactive activities and everything, is on does that kind of on her own as well, and she has them with eTherapy. So lots of materials for administrators and therapists alike. Come on. So again, I want to bring it back to questions. I want to open it up. I told you guys I would have you guys out a little bit on the early side, but I really want to find out, you know, what's going on in your districts. What can we help with? How can we be of a resource to your districts, and kind of, you know, any questions that you might have. So I'll open it up. Super quiet here. I do, guys, any questions at all? Or even if you just want to tell me what's kind of going on in your district. What we can answer, how we can help, how other companies can help you. Nothing. No one wants to talk about their district? I'd love to hear about it. All right, then I guess everybody's going to get some time back. I want to thank you. I want you to be able to have my information here. Ian and Chris, thank you so much for having us today. I didn't want to overload and go into a bigger, you know, more intricate conversation. We could go on forever about compensatory services and makeup sessions. But if anybody has any questions, whether they're simple or more complex, just reach out. My contact information is right here. My cell phone number, you can, you know, I'm available at any time. You can email us. And if I don't know the answer to something specific, I can certainly get it for you very quickly. We have all sorts of experience on the team. We've gone to meetings about legislation at Washington. We're involved in all of that. So we kind of, you know, we keep an eye on what's going on and know kind of firsthand what's, you know, what the laws are, and, you know, what's going to change and what's not going to change. And if you have any questions, because it can be confusing, just let us know. We're here for you. You don't necessarily have to contract with us for something specific, even if it's just for a question. We definitely want you to know that we're here. Any last questions before we end the session?
Anne-Marie, I just want to thank you and the entire eTherapy team for providing this service to our members and indirectly to our districts also, in serving these special needs students. I greatly appreciate your efforts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chris. And again, thank you to Anne for getting all the information out and everything that you guys do over there for us and for everyone. And I'm here if you have any questions. I appreciate your time today.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, very, very much. Have a great day.
Have a great day.